looking to stop that that momentum, that pace, and we'll see what they can do. SuperStriker, you know, losing a 3-1, had moments here and there, but ultimately, you know, wasn't able to kind of really put the screws to Tarek. So we'll see what Striker can do against sisqui now. But let's see how they want to approach again the beginning of this game. What are these opening decisions, these opening choices, the dialogue they're going to be having in game? sisqui just teasing out, throwing out the odd projectile and seeing how Striker wants to do, like, in terms of like basic maneuver around that. Looks like Striker's looking to try and get these spin dashes in, get these confirms and these follow-ups up B to diffuse the situation.
And that's so interesting, right? Because both these players kind of play around the concept of time. In the sense that, you know, Sonic obviously, timeout is a strong win condition for the character, but sisqui, he needs time to set up his charge shot. So in that sense, when they're waiting, who is the one really profiting from that situation? And I'm really curious to see, like, when are these players going to decide to play it slow? So far, after what you kind of highlighted was a very, you know, feeling each other out kind of style opening, we now already see them kind of off to the races. Both of them extremely aggressive, trying to brawl. We talked about sisqui's playstyle being more of a like mix-up oriented Samus rather than a keep-away oriented Samus. And that's like super interesting, right? Because you gotta keep Sonic away. You cannot really go in and scrap the character because of how much better his normals are than Samus's in a lot of situations. Of course, you know, Sonic not known for having the best normals, but definitely, as we can see so far, SuperStriker with all the mix-up, especially using those specials, really, really strong from that point. Almost the up out of shield by Samus is going to diffuse some of the pressure, but looking at the percentages, a minor but significant lead for SuperStriker. And again, SuperStriker kind of overreaching on those KO moves, definitely see that as like a core weakness in his game plan, and there we see forcing his way out of the corner. sisqui ready for that, and again, a mix of heavy playstyle, knowing exactly what the opponent wants to do, reading those defensive options, very important if you want to mix your opponent up, if you want to put on that pressure, and sisqui very, very talented at doing that.
Trying to get down there. Again, go for these short hop fairs. You're talking about the back air comes out, and SuperStriker looking for some kind of edge guard. Unable to find anything off the edge, tries to go for the forward tilt, and again fails there. So sisqui has center stage once more. Neutral get up to avoid the charge shot. Up throw, interesting. Just trying to get that, but unfortunately not enough. sisqui stays alive, and just trying to get back onto the stage and just try and get rid of this advantage state. But SuperStriker eventually finds the hit he wants, trades the stocks, and yeah. To a piece, 48 is the difference.
Something to highlight is that previously we talked about, like, it's pretty hard to get a solid hit on like Greninja or Sonic because they're so nimble. And while Samus is not exactly nimble, the way she plays defensively kind of leads very little ways for you to get a solid hit on Samus. So in that sense, it can also be very rough to get that final blow on Samus, but if you got her in disadvantage, that defensive play doesn't really matter. And SuperStriker, again, making use of the best, or making use of an opportunity like that. sisqui, however, immediately answering with that back out of shield, hitting Sonic on the ground. Pretty surprising to see it hit a small character like that out of shield, but sisqui just knowing exactly how those hitboxes work. Here's the answer though, SuperStriker kind of grabbing the ledge, almost accidentally it seems like, and now sisqui kind of breaking through with the dash attacks one after another. Forward air, that calling card coming in big, the miss out into the back air, amazing converts. sisqui just looking extremely dominant, got the parry even, and just pressuring. You're going to be hard pressed to find a Samus as pressure heavy, as mix-up heavy as sisqui is.
Yeah, so the thing about this is understanding like effective burst range and just knowing exactly how much space you can do. So you were talking about how the fact that, you know, the hitboxes, you know, it's hard to hit someone like Sonic, but, you know, the general space coverage that a lot of moves have, something like forward air, an active hitbox, arcing, you know, it can be used in such a way that just cover so much space and ground. And, you know, the length of Samus's limbs are also kind of one of those like moments where even if you like spin dash through that, but the reason that back air connected, one full up throw to finish that one by the way, just enough grinding it through. But you know, the spin dash went through, and then just getting, you know, knowing that spacing and knowing that timing is just to get that short hot back air and just connect. There's range, there's coverage, and so that kind of, I wouldn't say it completely mitigates the issues hitting someone like Sonic, but it definitely goes a long way to making it, you know, to making it doable and possible. So, you know, things like charge shot, it's a wide move, it hits hard, so a specific, you know, angle or like length or distance of jump is required to get around that, which then allows, you know, sisqui to then take to the air as well and cover that arcing space with that forward edge, with other things, like other projectiles, the Zair as well. You know, using those tools to try and force your opponent to make decisions that allows you to succeed.
Yeah, and like we mentioned before, it's just like the limiting nature of just charge shot, right? Such a low commitment move, high coverage move. Even if you shield it, right, you're not in a great situation. Just limits your options, and then it makes it that much easier to read the remaining options. Very, very good performance by sisqui so far, and I mean, you just gotta say chapeau to the way that he's conducting himself in terms of discipline as well, right? Because a lot of players who kind of like focus on the pressure side of their character are a lot. Are also vulnerable to being a little bit over aggressive, right? Over committing in that sense, and we do see that every so often from sisqui. I mean, he's not immune to it. You know, we see the preemptive Abigs going a little bit too far, perhaps. But overall, I really like the defense. He also switches to like a more defensive playstyle if needs be. We saw him like at the end, kind of like keeping SuperStriker out by just hitting 3-4 charge shots in a row, and then when SuperStriker's like, okay, I guess I cannot dash horizontally, then he covers the air again. So in that sense, also knows, hey, it's not just about the pressure, it's not just about kind of focusing on the mix-ups, it's also about that keep away, and that balance, that is what makes him deadly, right? The mix-up is what makes him good, the balance is what makes him deadly.
Absolutely, yeah. Very succinctly put as well, yeah. I'm not sure. We're not sure where sisqui went. Maybe just to clarify one particular rule set thing when coming back. So Dark Samus is out once again. Is Striker going to stick to the Sonic? Probably. Has a bunch of secondaries in there, but probably not going to see it. Let's see if Striker can find the inspiration he needs. Looking a bit dejected in the player cam there. Hopefully, it's just one of those things. Just a facade, or well, rather than a facade, just, you know, one of those things. Just doesn't wear too much emotions on the face, and just lets the gameplay do the talking for him. We're going to Final Destination, getting around, you know, getting rid of some platforms. You know, you really make effective use of that horizontal space that you were talking about. There's less verticality that sisqui can really use and utilize to, you know, assist.
SuperStriker starting those roll-ins. Roll-in, an extremely strong option against Samus, especially a pressure-heavy Samus, right? So Samus, you know, has that charge shot, has that forward air, has that grab, and between those options, it's very hard often to kind of figure out, hey, what should I do? And roll-in can be the glue to kind of negate Samus's options in that range. Talking about negating options, just denying the spin dash back to stage with that charge shot, just throwing out the blue blur of her own and denying that stock with it as well. And this is a huge lead for sisqui. You got to keep in mind, it's not just about the percentage, it's not just about the stock, it's also about the weight of these characters, right? Samus being a little bit more of a heavy character. We saw SuperStriker get some KOs, but oftentimes they were in advantage scenarios like this, so they're not going to come up as often as vice versa. Yeah.
I like the decision earlier just to use the spring as well to get out of that, you know, that tried and true, you know, Samus up air, up B, and obviously, you know, being able to get down quite a lot quicker to punish earlier, but, you know, still looking to get that first stock. Managing to hold on quite well in stock too, in terms of not taking too much percent right now from SuperStriker, although that's only one half of the game. You need to try and even out the stocks, but that max range grab, I think Striker just being a little bit complacent there and allowing himself to get caught.
Either that or the conditioning by sisqui, of course, constantly having to deal with all the projectiles, all the hitboxes, and like we said before, right, sisqui doesn't just use the grab as a way to beat shields, also uses it as a disjoint, right? So maybe you throw out your landing forward air, the grab just has more range. Maybe you throw your dash attack, the grab is going to be a lasting hitbox to intercept that. And in that sense, sisqui just making great use of the grab as a defensive tool as well. So far, though, sisqui just is working on this lead. Look at that grab. Is the up throw going to be it? It
Absolutely.
is. Yep, and that's more
insane.
than a stock lead.
Insane that it does that. Like, sisqui was just putting so much work, like, you know, doing a lot of mental damage currently to SuperStriker in terms of just trapping on the ledge. You were talking about these projectiles. Look at that max range from the forward tilt. You know, these mini bombs is like doing so much work and just popping SuperStriker up into every other option. Just great work so far. Striker, you know, needs to find something because it's just slowly just, you know, melting away. You know, aggressive forward air when trying to retreat. SuperStriker is just lost right now. Back throw. sisqui. Once again, looking for the edge guard, goes for a falling forward air. Off stage, for sure. Goes for the look like a get up attack. Striker just getting behind that and then getting that back throw.
Yeah, Shield just gonna wreck a little bit of damage. Yeah, it's a dominant lead for sisqui so far, and you gotta wonder, was a fine destination to pick? Because you can argue, hey, sisqui is using the platforms to get around spin dash, but you can also argue, hey, SuperStriker is using the platforms to get around charge shot, right? And in that sense, it is a double-edged sword, and it's at the end of the day, what it does is it's gonna make the game more binary. Because if sisqui has the lead, now SuperStriker has less tools to get around charge shot, whereas if SuperStriker has the lead, sisqui has less tools to get around spin dash. I'm sorry if I messed up the names there. Either way, a lead means more on Final Destination, is the point.
Sure.
And that is what is showing right now, is that sisqui has the lead, and SuperStriker has less of a safe space in the platforms to play around that so solid Samus mix-up game. And just like that, sisqui taking a 2-0 lead in dominant fashion. Like I said, Final makes the game just that bit more binary than a stage like Pokemon Stadium, like Battlefield, like a platform stage would.
Yeah, you just see, like, sisqui means business. Just so strong. In game and out, and yeah, I mean,
you're really hung up on his posture, aren't you?
Oh, I mean, it's not just the posture. It's just like, I don't know, just the body language as a whole. Again, I hope it's just one of those things where just not showing anything and just playing. But sisqui, isn't, yeah, he's calm, he's collected, he's playing his game, he's winning, he's going on, and just wanting to see. Yeah, I don't know. There's a difference, and I think obviously 2-0.
I agree.
It's just one of those things. It's one of those things to observe.
Of course. I mean, I didn't mean to get at you for pointing it out. I think it's very interesting as well. I mean, SuperStriker, he does lean into the game, as you can see right there. He does lean into the game when it starts. But you do have to wonder how much his head is in it when he looks that detached from the game in between them. So far, though, sisqui, again, with a solid lead, gets the grab. That is a punish that neutral will be extremely laggy. It is a mix-up for a reason. So far, SuperStriker tries to find his way back to center using that roll-in. Again, we kind of highlighted before that roll-in is an extremely essential mix-up to deal with Samus's pressure game. Striker, though, he might reset to neutral, but he's not getting anything going. Just as I say that, the grab, not even going to get a juggle. That down B, such a huge momentum swing for Samus. And really, one of the most underrated things about the character is that down B. It's such a great tool for neutral, for advantage, and especially for disadvantage, giving her a lot of stalling tools, a lot of ways to kind of mix up her momentum. Ooh. Yeah, just amazing forward air, intercepting. Again, it happened in the previous game as well, right? sisqui just ready to cover the spin dash to the stage, and every single time he does so, it is with death, right? So SuperStriker trying to go for a mix-up, trying to brute force his way back, and that's kind of the name of the game, right? SuperStriker has a lot of aspects of his game that he tries to brute force. He tries to brute force the KOs. He tries to brute force the approaches. He tries to brute force the disadvantage, and you cannot brute force against a Samus of sisqui's caliber.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much stuff. Just grabbing Sonic out of. Grabbing Sonic out of the spin dash. But there's the up smash, up angled a little bit just to silence sisqui's first stock, before he was making too much of a ruckus. But stopping the spin dash once again into dash attack. sisqui just neutralizing as much as possible of SuperStriker's options. Who's trying their best. You can see them just really just flailing away, just trying to find something. Not unable to do so. It's just, what is sisqui able to get in return for that? What's the cost, of those moments?
Yep, exactly. Very, very important. And the risk reward of your decision making in those critical moments. So far, SuperStriker again looking for those kills, throwing out the forward smashes, throwing out the back airs, but lagless enough to still hold on to some sort of pressure. sisqui finding some way to make it through. And that grab whiff is going to be a big opportunity for Striker. Is this the end of sisqui's stock? Ooh, it could be.
That was definitely one of those situations where it should have been that way, but Striker was unable just to get that the optimal punish. Okay, it's one of those things. You see an opportunity again. It's a very, very small window. You haven't got too much time. A good idea becomes a bad idea in the blink of an eye.
Just like that. That's the type of game Smash is. It's a game of inches, and so far, this third game really is a game of inches. Looking at the percentages here, we're all but even, and now SuperStriker has a little bit of advantage state. Again, tries to brute force a kill with that roll in. Is not going to work against a player like sisqui, but sisqui overcommitting with those up Bs. We kind of see some of the glaring weaknesses in both of these players' playstyles getting punished by you know, their opposition. And so far, that means a slight lead for SuperStriker.
Yeah, I think, you know, sisqi's overreaching is, you know, what you know, really enabled that. But, you know, SuperStriker, again, this is the thing, a very skilled player, despite you know, how much dominance there has been from sisqui in this set so far. You give SuperStriker an inch, he will take a mile, but so far, you know, he's got a bit of a lead. It's slowly going to be disappearing in just a couple of hits. Charge shot. For the follow-ups, there's a neutral get-up, nothing comes from that one though, but again, a rising into quick falling fair just to kind of catch those final few active frames, keeps SuperStriker at the edge, rolls on, goes to the forward tilt, looking for that F smash but does not connect.
And the up shield mitigating the spin dash pressure. We're really going tit for tat here, and like you said, sisqui evening up that SuperStriker lead quite nicely, and this could be huge, right? Because SuperStriker hasn't really been in this position so far, could push it extremely far if he manages to just win this game. So far, it's not looking too pretty. The roll in, beating out the grab, and there's the forward air. This is one of those kill confirm or kill basically pressure situations that we talked about before when Samus is in disadvantage, but immediate reversal, uses the charge shot dash and the roll in forward smash. You don't see it work often, but when it does, it is oh so lethal.
Yeah, sisqui clutching his head there, a bit annoyed about that one. A bit of life yet in SuperStriker, taking that first game, gets to his feet and looking to mount the comeback. It's a long way to go, but this is what we want to see. Despite everything being a little bit against him at this point, he's still a talented player.
Sure, for sure. SuperStriker definitely no slouch. sisqui, I mean, you do gotta wonder, what was he grabbing for there, right? I mean, we saw Sonic on the ledge going for a grab there. Very much all or nothing, right? Very much an all or nothing choice. And at the end of the day, SuperStriker got all and sisqui got nothing. So we gotta head into game number 4 to see who's gonna bring this home. Of course, SuperStriker has to win 2 more, but the momentum would be huge for him, not just for this set, but also going forward in the pool. He got 1 more set to play after this, and of course, sisqui looking to solidify this win with another game. He does, of course, get a counter pick here, and we are gonna go to Yoshi's. Interesting pick. I think both characters benefit a lot from this. Sonic, historically good on platforms, can use those to kind of mitigate his spin dash lag, which in turn allows him to play a little bit more aggressively because he can throw out the spin dashes. And ooh, okay.
There's a good bit of aggression there that sisqui immediately saw and found a very strong punish. It wasn't enough to get the KO, obviously, but yeah, that was a scary moment for SuperStriker in the early part of this game 4.
Ooh, and more scary moments coming in. All those up Bs just constantly intercepting SuperStriker vertically. We talked about vertical control against Sonic before and how much of an understated aspect of the matchup it is, and sisqui finding that up B and using it as a good tool to kind of keep up with that Sonic verticality. So far though, SuperStriker finding a good few hits in here to even it back up, and sisqui again so preemptive on the up Bs, very eager to throw those out, and you gotta wonder, where does that come from, right? Is it a place of confidence, or is it a place of maybe a little bit of fear, right? Not knowing what Sonic is gonna do, wants to get out of that situation ASAP with the up B.
Interesting. Yeah, there's a little bit more life in Striker here, moving a little bit with a bit more confidence. Sisqui a little bit more trepidation, but that up smash on this small stage will definitely take that one. Nice to see an up smash kill. You don't often see it, I don't think. I haven't seen one for a while, at least personally. Too used to those back airs and charge shots and forward airs.
Yeah, but just calling SuperStriker's air stalling out, and SuperStriker's been doing that a lot, kind of like side B'ing and ending up around sisqi's shield, kind of floating around there, mixing up further with specials. sisqi's saying, hey, none of that up smash is gonna pull you out of the air and into the blast zone. And this is what sisqui wants, right? That big lead to kind of start out the game, because look at the way he's lengthening the lead. It's just keeps stacking and stacking, and now he's almost lapping Sonic in percentages.
Yeah. And I know it's one of those things that you know, sometimes you'll see a charge shot go a bit you know, wayward, and you'll think, like, what's the point on that? Well, you know, we've been talking about it being a very like controlling tool. So, you know, just throwing it out just kind of like shows that, you know, you're willing to fire it out at any point, first of all, but also, you know, it's covering that lower option. It's forcing a higher recovery. So even if it just goes completely wide of the mark, it is serving a purpose. I'd like to hope. I'd like to hope. You never know. It could just be like, oh, never mind. Didn't mean to press B. But you know.
I mean, for sure, and there's also something to be said about, you know, like, getting rid of a fully charged charge shot. Because a semi-full charge has just that bit less lag, which also helps it confirm into follow-ups a bit better. So sisqui just managing his charge as much as he can, the rising fair covering so many options, and Striker has been such a big fan of that leg jump option. Again, we see Striker trying to force a KO option with that up smash, with that back air. It's just KO option after KO option to roll in. Again, looking for maybe something like a roll in forward smash. sisqui not giving it to him, going for that coverage to grab as well into the forward air. Tries to get that little bit of the Indiana Jones finisher, but not gonna get it. Another back air from SuperStriker. He's just trying to KO the man, but he's not finding it. The roll in back throw, looking for another KO. Striker, do something else with a KO move, please.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, like, at this point, sisqi's just, you know, trying to close it out. You know, we saw this against True4 as well. You know, he has the momentum. This is where the aggression comes out. Shield gets dropped. That's gonna be enough. sisqui just sped up so much there. After that game being taken by SuperStriker, kind of came out of the gates all right, but then as soon as sisqui gets his claws in, you know, rip and tear. Really nice increased momentum and speed. sisqui then will be maintaining that lead at the top of the pool, and depending on how it goes out, might potentially